coming to you live on YouTube and all your favourite podcast apps. It's the 10 Point Podcast Season 3 Pointy Awards.
Whoop
Woo!
whoop.
Yay!
My name is Bruce, and I am your host for the evening. And with me are two Pointy Award winners. First, he is a 3-time Pointy Award winner. 1 for Best Host Meltdown, and 2 for Best Catchphrase, of course. It's Chris.
Heyo!
That's not even a catchphrase.
And secondly, he is the winner of the Best Sound Pointy Award, as he sounds louder and clearer than everybody else in every single episode. It is Andy.
Yeah, I do. That's because I'm recording. It's everything's coming through my laptop.
Exactly, yeah. And I did notice it's much easier for you to shout us down on the podcast in the last season.
No, wrong.
It starts rabbiting.
Wrong. Shut up. Wrong.
We are the 10 Point Podcast. You can find us, as I said, on YouTube. Just look for 10 Point Podcast. All of our episodes are up there since last season's Pointy Awards, and all the rest will continue to go up there afterwards. You can subscribe and like and request and comment and all that stuff up on YouTube. So do let us know anything that you don't like, and also all your favorite podcast apps. Like I said as well, you can subscribe on all of them there, and please rate and review us there as well. And on all these things, including our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, look for 10 Point Podcast. Send in your requests, because season 4 listener requests are going to be a thing. Starting off with the end of the Pointies here, our first random film that we don't really know what we're going to get. Somebody is going to have recommended.
Good or bad?
It can't be any bad in the room.
Was it? What? You say that, we'll find out later on who won the worst film of the season, which was the worst film of season 3. I think that's all the bookkeeping kept. We'd better get into the awards before Chris has any more drinks.
Passes out.
He's had a big day. So, as I said on the last episode, that I wanted to do a what was the most forgettable film of the season Pointy Award, but then Chris went and ran through every film one after another on the last episode, refreshing everybody's mind. So I thought I'll do a different twist on it. So this is the moral of the story quiz. Let's see if the lads have learned their lessons from season 3 of the 10 Point Podcast.
I made all these up though.
That's the thing. Chris is going to be asked. Well, I'm going to read Chris one of Andy's moral of the stories when he came up, and you have to tell me which film that was the moral of the story.
Good, it's that way around.
And Andy, I'm going to ask you what Chris's moral of the story, and it'll be a different film. No film is a double. I think every single film is its own one. Yes, exactly.
I've tried really hard to do that, to get a different one for each one.
This is already a mind fuck.
I will try and score, and if it is a draw, I do have a tiebreaker. Either way, I'll read the tiebreaker out.
I'm too drunk for this.
I've tried to make them get harder, but then you should run out of films, so you should eventually know what films you have not covered so far. So let's say I've started with Chris. Some of these are a wee bit easier than somebody else's, but I'm only working with 40 morals here. So Chris, what was the moral of the story? What film was this the moral of the story? The devil can suck a butt.
Devil.
That was devil. You are correct. Okay. Do that if you get it right.
I don't even know what films we did
Andy.
this season.
I know, I'm struggling with that. I almost forgot about devil.
That's the whole point. There's no prizes for winning. It's bragging right. So Andy, your first moral of the story. What film? Don't buy weird shit from Chinese shops.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Correct. So that was Chris's moral for that one. Chris, killing is badong.
Oh, Kung Pao.
Kung Pao, that is right. Andy, umbrella is code for vagina. First difficult one,
What the fuck is that film?
This is the first hard one, I would say.
Oh, I don't know what film it is. Forgot the name of it though.
I can
So
I just can't name it myself.
Is it the Anthony Hopkins film?
It wasn't the Anthony Hopkins.
I don't know then.
It was Logan Lucky. It was one of the.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So unlucky. That's the first hard one.
I didn't know
so,
what film it was actually.
Chris unfortunately has got another easy one. Never trust one-eyed willies.
Oh, Goonies.
That's the Goonies. Yeah. Andy, don't walk where you're not supposed to walk, because there might not be someone with superhuman strength to save your little ass.
I don't even know
This is
this
moral
one.
of the story.
Don't walk where you're not meant to. Oh my god, this is hard.
This was, yeah. I'll be honest, you've got a harder bunch. Yours are a bit more like what the film is about. Chris is a bit more out there, I think.
Don't walk. Fuck knows. No idea.
If you don't, Chris, you seem like you're almost getting there.
No, I don't. I can't remember what films we've done.
It was the career day at the school at the beginning of City Slickers, the construction
yeah.
who went before Billy Crystal.
Ah.
And Chris had it as his moral of the story. Now back to Chris again. Your wife is not worth $12,000. What was that, Andy's moral of the story?
Leon? I don't know.
No, it was Django. Remember the Mandingo trade thing?
I knew that one.
There we go.
What's did you should have said it?
Andy, your fourth question. Shooting your partner in the face is not an alternative for divorce.
Oh, that's the Thingy Hopkins film that I can't remember the name of. Fracture.
Fracture, there we go.
Oh.
Yes, Fracture. So I think it's now 1, 2, 3. I think it's 3-2 in favour of Chris at the moment. A couple of questions left. Chris, moral of the story: water sucks.
Waterworld.
Waterworld. Very good. Andy, Chris's moral story: don't drink milk.
What? Even he's confused. What films had milk? Leon.
Leon, very good.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't even know why you would have said that. I was literally just thinking films that had milk in it.
Immediately I went to like Napoleon Dynamite when I read it out because he was thinking that the milk in Napoleon Dynamite, but that was a different season. Chris, it's not always good to get sucked off.
Oh, Jesus. I can't think of my films down. On you go. I can't get it.
Remember, Andy?
Is it Blade?
It was Blade. Blade Trinity. What was that one?
Ryan Reynolds getting sucked off by a vampire.
Oh, right, okay.
Andy, families, the greatest gift in life. Now we're getting difficult.
Oh, that's definitely a criticism.
Yeah.
Families. Goonies.
No, do you remember, Chris?
Nope.
It was Grimsby.
So it is.
Yes. That's because what we talked about is better than Vin Diesel.
This is to win it, Chris, if you get this one right. The size of your balls do matter.
Oh, of course, Dodgeball. We didn't even watch Dodgeball. No, sorry.
Oh, Andy, do you remember?
Not a clue.
It's the Mummy.
Oh yeah.
Omar
Jalili's balls.
Ball things that he broke or whatever. So Andy, this is to tie up here. Gamble responsibly. That was the moral of the story in which film?
Gamble oh fucking hell. What film haven't we said?
I can't remember.
Gamble responsibly. Shit. I'm gonna fluff it here. Shit. Gamble responsibly. What would Chris said that for?
Do you remember, Chris?
Nah, I'm fucked.
No, it was the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Fuck!
Devil. So Chris wins just, but the tiebreaker one. See if who gets this right. If Andy gets it first, then we can call it a draw. Bitches be crazy.
Oh Jesus, that's about 6 different films.
Yeah, I used this in about 3 films.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah. That was, what else? What other films did we do? Definitely, I said it in Fracture, surely.
That
Waterworld.
Nope.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't think of the films that we've seen.
You said it 2 this season. 1 has come up, 1 hasn't come up. But you said it in 2 different films.
Did I?
Wait, hold on.
What did you say, sorry?
I don't know.
The Room.
The Room. There we go. The Room was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And Leon.
Oh, yeah.
Was the other one, apparently. That was the moral of the story to Leon. So, yeah. There we go.
Fucking hell, that's hard.
Pressure. That's 3/4 to all of the films we've done this season. Covered in the look.
Harder than I thought it was going to be.
I know. I forgot what we did this season. Didn't help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know.
20 films in the last 3 months, whatever it would be, 4 or 5 months. So there we go. Quick refresher.
The morals still hold up, though. Good morals.
Lessons have all been learned, I would say. Well, on to the first award of the evening for us to discuss, I should say. We're going to go with our usual format that confuses everybody, where each of us in turn awards a gold, a silver, and a bronze prize, and whoever gets the most points out of that is the official Pointy Award winner. So,
It's happening already.
traditionally goes disastrously wrong. So I will get everything ready. Also, I have to be on my phone during all this, unfortunately. I'm a bit rude, viewers and listeners, but it makes things easier this way. So the first category, first Pointy Award being given this evening, initially with 13 nominees, whittled down to just these, is Best Song of Season 3 of the 10 Point Podcast. I think we always start with this Pointy, so I'll continue that trend. First nominee, Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot from Kung Pao. The Django theme from Django Unchained. Fire Fry by Rammstein from Triple X. Fire by Jimi Hendrix from Reign of Fire. Goonies Are Good Enough by Cyndi Lauper from The Goonies. I Get Around by the Beach Boys from Look Who's Talking. Mean Green Mother from Outer Space from Little Shop of Horrors. The Peter Gunn theme from Waterworld. And The Real Slim Shady by Eminem that was in 21 Jump Street. They are our 9 nominees. It's a big one to start on.
There's no standout bangers in this list, is there?
No standout bangers. I was thinking this is going to be very hard to whittle down here.
I've got mine.
You already got yours. I haven't even looked at mine yet. Right, Andy, you give me yours then.
Right. So we're doing bronze, silver, gold. Right. Bronze. Baby Got Back.
We got back as a bronze.
Silver is going to be Fire Fry from Triple X.
Mm-hmm.
And then gold is going to be Mean Green Mother from Outer Space for Little Shop of Horrors. Because that is a banger.
Well, there we go. Chris, have you thought of yours yet?
I've got, yeah.
Okay.
My bronze is Fire by Jimi Hendrix from Reign of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
My silver, this is going to throw everything completely in the mix, by the way. Peter Gunn by Waterworld. Okay. And my gold is Fire Fry by Rammstein.
Right, okay. I haven't really thought about this too deeply until we got to here. But upon a quick reflection and looking at everything, I think that's my winner and that's my runner-up. So let's go. Actually, I think I absolutely agree with Andy. I think now I think about it. So Baby Got Back is my bronze, Fire Fry is my silver, and I'm going Mean Green Mother with my gold. Meaning that despite getting 2 gold votes, I think the winner is actually Fire Fry by Rammstein from Triple X.
Okay, that's a good one.
I think Rammstein, through getting Chrissy's and mine and Andy's second place votes, means it's the winner. So the Pointy Award, best song, Fire Fry by Rammstein. I can't remember if we did anything special when the awards give out the awards.
And here's Till to accept his award.
Need some pyro.
Explosions going off, yes.
He's got a lighter.
Bang, bang.
On to our second award. The second award is a rejiggered award. It used to be 2 separate ones. I've combined it all together because it tends to not be too well populated. We now have a Best Acting award. Because Best Actor and Best Actress was always not many. It seems to be the kind of films we do. They get many of them much really good acting, but also we feel like why divide the sexes? It should all be competing against each other, one after another. So this is there's another award later which some nominees could have been in as well, but these are people who were nominated by any of the 3 of us to be essentially the best actor and best actress in their particular film. Nominees: Brendan Fraser for The Mummy, Christoph Waltz for Django, Mark Strong for Grimsby, Matthew McConaughey for Reign of Fire, Natalie Portman for Leon, Ryan Reynolds for Blade Trinity, Sigourney Weaver for Alien, and Vern Troyer for The Imaginarium of Dr.
Hey.
I think that was the one diamond in the rough, I think, is why he got nominated for that there. Does anyone have any initial thoughts on hearing the nominees? It's quite an eclectic mix we have there.
It is. I'm surprised McConaughey made it in there, actually.
I think he was the best thing about that film.
You were very staunchly in favour of McConaughey because you'd slagged him in the previous season, Chris.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'm still surprised he still made it in.
I kind of make good. There were 15 nominees initially, and I kind of whittled it down to 8, so about halfway. These are the people we seem to agree on that had good film. So I think it's me to go first. I think if we go by the usual sort of pattern. A number 1 and 2 are. So who's going to get my third? I Well, because he was the best thing in the film, and I quite enjoyed him, I'll give Matthew McConaughey my bronze, I think. My silver is going to Natalie Portman, because she was really good in that, and I think we just raved about her. But my gold, because he was amazing in it, Christoph Waltz in Django has to be my gold medal, I think. So he was the best by far.
I'll go next. I've got mine. My bronze is going to be, do you know what, Brendan Fraser for the Mummy, because he was actually quite good. Shows he's got some acting chops. My silver, I'm going to take him out. Fern Troyer for Imagineering by Dr. Parnassus, because he was literally the best thing in that entire film. And my gold, Christoph Waltz for Django.
Christoph Waltz is gold too.
Man, he's a good actor.
It doesn't matter what I say now, so.
Yeah, I think Waltz has won it, but give us yours anyway, Andy.
Silver, not silver, bronze.
There we go.
Yeah, because he was pretty good in it, but he pretty much does this in every film he does now, is Christoph Waltz for bronze. Silver, Brendan Fraser, because he did all of his own stunts in The Mummy and still acted while doing stunts, pretty good. But there's only one man best acting, Ryan Reynolds.
I knew that was coming.
I'm glad you were last with your gimmick answer. That's good. Yes, Reynolds was good. He was entertaining, but the winner is Christoph Waltz. He was, I think, he's probably the most entertaining man in a film we've had on the podcast. He was fun and a good laugh all the way through. Best
Did somebody
acting
just
award.
fart there? I'm sure I heard a fart.
It was my squeaky chair, I think.
Okay.
Excuse me.
At least that's what I'm going to say.
I'm going to call it Chris. He's going to fart at some stage. I'm going to get it right.
Get ahead of it. The next award. The next award is something we discuss quite regularly in the podcast. I feel season 2 was a peak for this category, but it's made it into the season 3 as well.
Best
the
feat.
worst cop.
Ah.
The worst cop is our next award. We seem to cover the police quite a lot on the podcast.
Still nothing can beat that one from season 2. Oh, yeah, season 2. She was awful.
Worst cop of the season. 5 nominees. Detective Bowden from Devil. The FBI agents in Blade Trinity. Jenko from 21 Jump Street. Milan, the Czech agent in Triple X. And the Speedway security in Logan Lucky. A wee bit more explanations maybe. So Detective Bowden is your main police guy in Devil, who's kind of failed to actually ever work anything out correctly until he started believing in kind of the devil tales and all that sort of
Supernatural shit.
FBI agents, James Remar and somebody else whose name escapes me at this
Who
point.
vanished.
Sure. Who had a scene disappear halfway through, and they just never seem to ever be on top of anything. Jenko, that's Channing Tatum in 21 Jump Street, if you need a reminder, who forgot the arresting...
Miranda rights.
Right, yeah.
Milan, it was the guy that Triple X met when he got to Czechoslovakia, or wherever it was he was going in Triple X, who was pretty terrible and was one of these getting him in more and more trouble, and then turned on him in the end, I think. Spoiler. And then the Speedway security for Logan Lucky, kind of self-explanatory. They let a heist happen. So only 5 nominees. Chris, have you lined up your gold, silver, and bronze?
I think so. My my bronze is, I'm going to say the FBI agents in Blade 3, but I don't know why. They're that good that
because
they're
they weren't
memorable. Exactly. They're so forgettable. My silver, I'm going to say the Speedway security from Logan Lucky, because they got away with it, basically.
The thing we picked out on the episode was the fact that there was a fire in the vault, and not once at any point did any security people go to the actual vault.
Got you.
They kept running around.
That's still good silver. My gold, Milan, the Czech agent.
Right, okay.
He was a dick. Everything got to him.
Andy, you go next?
I
go next.
I've got it. Right. So Speedway for bronze. They were shite. Detective Bowden and Devil, because he didn't believe anything until they actually started saying shit. But the FBI agents in Blade have got to be gold, because
right, okay.
What the fuck? They kill Whistler and then do fuck all for the rest of the film.
Yeah, they were pretty dreadful. I had my 3 and I've forgotten what they were. I'm going to go to Speedway security for bronze for me, because of as the reasons outlined. My silver is going to be Jenko, because it was just...
He's amazing!
He was amazing in some senses, but actually a terrible police officer.
You wait till you see 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. I'm sure it'll come up at some point. My gold, I have to give it to Detective Bowden for Devil though, because he at every point of the film, the whole way through, he was never like ahead of anyone. Never. Every time he thought, oh, it's that guy that's doing it, it wasn't. Oh, it's that guy. Oh, it wasn't. And it's like, all right, tell me more about the devil. Like, let me know what's the devil. Like immediately he jumps to that, and I think that wins him the Pointy. It does, yes. Detective Bowden from Devil, Pointy Award winner for the worst police officer.
Oh, Chris is
Congratulations
almost
to
about to
him.
puke.
The first almost vomit of the episode so far.
Just a hiccup.
Next award is another old favourite, and one that might be in it depending on who wins for the final time, because it comes up every single Pointy Awards that we do. It's Best Costume is the next Pointy Award winner.
Was there many costumes in season 3?
There's only 4 nominees. 4 nominees for this one, but I felt like I had to put it in because our first nominee, Blade's bomber jacket from Blade 4.
Hey, so shit.
Pretty much the reason this award still exists. Second nominee, Superman Pirate Sloth in Goonies with his pirate hat, Superman shirt, and generally just his face as a costume. Because the next nominee is the Xenomorph from Alien itself is a costume, so that counts. And the last one, Triple X's Bane style jacket from Triple X with the kind of woolen collar around about it here.
What are we going to do next year when there's no Blade 4?
Yeah, that's it. I feel like I had to put this in because Andy often slags Blade's jackets in his attire, I would say.
It's
Whereas
so
I feel
shit.
like this season, both me and Chris thought it was quite fashionable and we quite liked the look of it,
Nope.
if I remember right.
Still ruins the whole film. There's like one scene in Blade 2 where he doesn't wear it, and that costume is like amazing. Then back on with the bomber jacket because he's cold again, a little prick.
I think you were to go first, Andy.
All right.
I could be wrong.
I could tell he's 3, but I could tell you what order.
Right,
It is
best
costume.
Right, best costume. I'm gonna go with Silver being the Xenomorph costume because it's iconic.
You
But
mean
when you see
silver
that
or
costume
do you
in
mean
person, it's a bit shit.
Right.
It's-
Okay. Do you mean silver or do you mean bronze?
Oh, I meant bronze.
Right.
It's been a long drinking day. Silver, I'm gonna go Bane's jacket from Triple X because Vin Diesel can rock that shit. And then I'm gonna go Pirate Sloth as gold because the face was awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I usually follow up from there. I can't picture Blade's jacket. Like we talked about it in the podcast, which is why I mentioned it. I mean, Christopher Christ, I can't picture it, so therefore I think I have to rule it out because I can't actually remember what the bomber jacket necessarily looks like. So I'll go for the other 3 as well. And I am gonna flip his bronze and silver, I think. So I will go. Vane's jacket is bronze. The alien is silver, but I'm going. Sloth is my gold medal winner. Good old Schla. He was the best
Schla.
of the season.
You've got
So I think he wins anyway. But Chris, why don't you give us your votes?
My bronze is Blade's bomber jacket because I can remember it's like a quilted jacket thing.
Right. Okay.
My silver is a Xenomorph alien. No, actually, I changed mine. My silver is Sloth, and my gold is a Xenomorph.
Right. Okay. So quite easily,
I've got sweaty titties.
Sloth runs away. I am as well.
Why did we do this for Pointy Awards in the heat wave?
We should never do a summer one. But yeah, Sloth is our winner with the Superman T-shirt, pirate hat.
Schla.
Schla.
Schla love chunk.
Schla love chunk. Yes, exactly. That's what he said. On to the next award is Worst Special Effects. I believe at one time this was worst CGI, but it's now worst special effects, or at least it has been worst special effects for a couple of seasons. I'll take you through your nominees. The baby doll from Kung Pao into the Fist, as in the one that he rolls down the hill. Excuse me. CGI Vin Diesel face from Triple X. The Devil Snake in the Imaginarium Dr. Parnassus, and the Sea Monster in Waterworld.
That's a banger, that.
That is.
Ooh, Ice Cream Man.
That's quite a tough one.
It's Bruce anyway.
I think I'm to go first, yeah. I know what my gold is. Silver's Vin Diesel's face.
Probably bronze.
Yay!
Bronze, Vin Diesel's face. Silver, I remember the devil snake being especially bad in Imaginarium, so I'm going for that. But the the little dolly that was meant to be a baby come through is the worst, because I think right, again, this is where I'm confused with this film. Was that an original film, or is that one of the
That was not in the original film that was added.
Either way, it was it was hilarious, but kind of on purpose, and I feel like it would want to win this award. So that's my answer.
Okay. Bronze, nearly.
Hey! So hard! So hard! Such a hard concept we got here. So
A
hard.
bronze, I'm going to go for Vin Diesel's CGI face because it just looks stupid. My silver, I'm going to go for the baby doll from Kung Pao, and my gold is the devil snake from Imaginarium.
Alright.
The
Snap.
entire film was just awful.
I'm
Are you
doing
the
what
same
Chris
as
said.
Chris?
I'm same as Chris.
Right. So I think that lands it for the old devil snake. Imaginarium Dr. Parnassus.
He won an
The
award.
Waterworld sea monster got away with it there. I think that was
Oh,
worse-
That was
worse than the
1995. It was fine.
Goat. But yeah, Imaginarium was what, like 15 years after that at minimum, maybe 10 years minimum. But yes, I think everything was a worthy winner there. But the devil
Oh.
snake
I'm fleeing.
inside the Imaginarium. On to our next award, from the worst special effects to the best death of the season. I feel like this was an overlooked category, an overlooked award that didn't get nominated very often. I was keeping track as I was doing it, and I think that some of the awards only I would nominate things in, as if I was working with the list every single week, which I was.
I'm not going to lie, I kept forgetting what awards we picked.
Exactly, yeah.
And I was
Best
hammered
death by
most of the year.
Well, exactly. And then there were certain awards where it was like all Andy and a couple somebody else's, or all Chris. So it did kind of spread out. But best death, 5 nominees for best death. Johnny Depp is shot in the neck in 21 Jump Street. Kane dies via chest burster in Alien. Leon shot in the back as he leaves the building. Little old man in the tanker in Waterworld gets blown up, I would assume. And Van Zandt's jump in Rain of Fire when he jumps headlong at a gigantic dragon for some reason.
Oh, I know what's winning in this one for me.
Okay, I think I've got it. Are you ready?
You're ready? I think you're first this time.
Yeah, you're first.
Lead on.
My bronze, it's a little old man in the oil tanker because he deserved that death. He needed a sweet relief of death after all that he's gone through. My silver, I'm going for Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp getting shot in the neck. And my gold has to be Kane's chest burster.
Sound reasoning?
Right. Mine, it just sneaks into bronze. It's going to be Kane's chest buster because because it was a slow burn death. We all knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, it's inevitable. Yeah.
Little old man in Waterworld for bastard. But the best death all season is Matthew McConaughey jumping straight into a dragon's mouth. What a ledge!
Genius.
Yes, I think he was omitted from worst plan because he got nominated for best death here. So yeah, it wasn't the best idea. Was it effective? He didn't kill the dragon.
He didn't even touch it, I don't think.
He just fully suicided.
He left a swallowed whole.
Absolutely nothing to that guy.
I forgot what my third one is. I think I'll go Leon for a bronze because I thought it was a pretty good finish to the film. Van Zandt's only my silver though, because I think the chest burster is an all-timer, like absolute incredible, I don't know, death that has been often repeated by other things trying to replicate it.
Yeah.
But I think, swallowing that and coming full on out, and then just the way it runs across the table or whatever afterwards.
Well, you top
amazing.
hat
But the
going
chest burster. Hello, my honey. But yeah, the chest burster is the way to go, I would say. Although, if I was to pick one, it'd definitely be Van Zandt. I think if I was to select who I died.
Yeah, if Kane wasn't there, as Van Zandt might have got it.
Yeah, like unlucky, difficult competition for Van Zandt, I would say. Next award. This is a favourite of the podcast. It kind of used to be the best cameo, but it's turned into the most unexpected appearance in a film by somebody. Someone who we did not expect when we clicked play on the film, who we did not expect to see show up. And we have a defending champion in this one as well. The defending champion has returned. First nominee, Danny John Jules, who won last year's Most Unexpected in Little Shop of Horrors.
And you didn't even realise.
So unexpected I missed it. Yeah. I did not see him. Next nominee, Don S. Davis for Look Who's Talking, Jake Gyllenhaal in Slickers, Paloma Faith in Imaginarium, etc., Raheem Sterling in Grimsby, Sebastian Stan in Logan Lucky, and Tony Hawk and Matt Hoffman showing up in Triple X. I expanded this and cross-referenced this category with a couple other ones because I feel like some people, Tony Hawk and Matt Hoffman, I don't think we're going to make it into like most underused. I believe they were nominated for, so I put them into most unexpected because Chris indeed said he did not expect them to show up in this film. I can't remember whose turn it is to go first. So.
That's me.
I just went.
Alright, so I'm going to go for Tony Hawk, Matt Hoffman, Triple X as bronze. I'm going to go for Sebastian Stan and Logan Lucky because he's not even anywhere in the poster. And then Danny John Jules.
I think between the three of us, we nominated about 7 people for unexpected.
Yeah.
Logan Lucky. So I think Sebastian Stan was still one.
Danny John Jules, Little Shop of Horrors. Did not see that coming.
Go. It's me next. So I'll go Danny John Jules for third because I wasn't expecting him, but I also didn't see him necessarily. So I was okay, yeah. And I think it's funny he showed up essentially near enough 2 films in a row. He showed up for, or two seasons in a row, not necessarily 2 films. My second is Paloma Faith because I didn't recognize her, and then she showed up again, and I was like, "Who is this person?" I don't expect her to come back into it. And it's it's Paloma Faith as it was. But Raheem Sterling has to win for me. When you think about everything that Grimsby has in it as a film, like gross out, disgusting horribleness that's in that film, and then here's a football player that's like, oh yeah, I'll play myself in that film. I'm fine with that. He has to be. I didn't expect the World Cup to be in it. Never mind actual football players to be in it. So he's my gold. Chris.
My bronze is Jake Gyllenhaal. I know he was quite young and he's probably going to do act and things before we know him now. My silver is going to be Paloma Faith, and my gold, I'll go with Danny John Jules. I wasn't expecting to see him at all.
Well, I didn't. But, that wins it. 2 years in a row. Danny John Jules.
Who's gonna find another film he randomly is in that nobody's expecting?
If we find the third, I think this is definitely the Danny John Jules award. If he unexpectedly shows up in a different film. So Danny John Jules, 2nd year in a row, showed up on the 10-Point Podcast unexpectedly. Very good. On to the next award. While I can't get my finger to work.
Drink, Chris.
The next.
What?
Drink more.
Can't drink anymore.
You can.
He's full.
As we get to the point where I'm like passed out. At like the third, well, not the third award, we've been past like the 12th award.
I see a live spewing.
I don't have a good segue into the next award from that. I was hoping you would say something I could segue into. Best fight is next. Chris's fights with sobriety. Best fight.
The whole last season.
Yeah, the entire season. 5 nominees for best fight. Baby Chosen One versus the bad guys from Kung Pao Enter the Fist. The Dentist versus Bill Murray in Little Shop of Horrors. Jimmy Logan versus Seth MacFarlane in The Bar in Logan Lucky. Johnny versus Mark in The Room. And The Party Fight from 21 Jump Street. Both Chris and I raved about The Party Fight. I can't actually really remember that clearly.
No.
I think it was like they were undercover high schoolers at a high school party, and then was it like fighting with drug dealers? I think it was, if I kind of remember.
Yeah.
That's what that is. But all the rest, pretty much. I think I'm going first.
Chris is giggling like fuck. Some flashbacks.
Which...
PTSD.
I have to go, like Chris is laughing at, I think I have to go with humour here and what I thought were the funniest fights of the season. So my bronze is Johnny versus Mark.
Oh God!
Because it wasn't meant to be funny, but it was funny. Especially when, as me and Chris theorised, Mark got accidentally pushed over as part of the fight. a peak, I would say. The Dentist versus Bill Murray, where Bill Murray is like trying to get pain, I think was what the fight was. So I'll go for that one. But the Baby Chosen one versus the bad guys at the beginning of Kung Pao was one of the hardest I laughed, I think, this season with that bit. So I have to give that my gold.
I have to agree with your three, but not your order. My
Ooh.
bronze is Johnny and Mark, because it was just shitly good. There's a little slap across his face. Ah, no, I fly across his room. My silver is the Baby Chosen one versus the bad guys. My gold is the Dentist versus Bill Murray. Mostly because of Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it, that film.
He did, yes. He was not in it that long, but it was definitely a very, very high point.
It left a lasting impression.
So it's balanced, Andy.
Right, so
the difference here.
bronze, 21 Jump Street fight, because there was a
Right.
lot going on in that one. Oh, here we go. Silver, Little Shop of Horrors, because it wasn't really a proper fight, but it was an out-and-out fight with some piss involved. It was Baby versus the bad guys, Kung Pao.
Kung Pao was the winner, I think, definitely. I think, yeah, I'd say it was.
It was close. If
Probably the best.
if the Bill Murray was a proper fight, like fisticuffs, I would have said yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it probably makes sense also that the film that's most about fighting wins best fight, so it's probably
Yeah.
probably not the one they would have thought would win it. But
How did Blade not get a nomination for the great fight scene at the end?
I only eliminated, I think, 9. It was 9 nominees initially, down to 5. So I don't think there was maybe there was a Blade one that was in there. But like I say, I tried to go people. What we seem to agree upon was how I nailed down.
Wesley Snipes, honourable mention for that fight scene up the bridge. It's the one time he actually acted in that film. When he's walking up the gangway to get up to Dracula. After Dracula had been babysitting for a bit.
I had the storming the building was a fight that I'd nominated, but I don't think anybody else had done anything similar. Next award is a similarly rejiggered to an earlier one. This is the worst acting award. This hopefully will be expanded in the future, where we can just be whoever we thought was really bad in a film could get nominated. But at this point, it's just the kind of the lead characters that we thought were bad for the most part. So worst acting, 4 nominees for worst acting of the season. Talking of Blade Trinity, Jessica Biel is our first nominee. Scott James Mouter, who you won't remember, he was Jared in Reign of Fire, who I pretty much monologued about for about 5 minutes because of how bad he was in the one scene that he had something to do in. Vin Diesel and Triple X, an apprehensive nomination but agreed upon, and the final nomination that was definitely agreed upon by certainly 2 people on the panel, the cast of The Room is the last nominee.
I know what's winning this one.
I can't remember who went first last time or whose turn it is.
I can't remember either. It's Chris.
Chris, right. Chris to go first. I think it's only I had a real problem with Jessica Biel in Blade 3. I thought
you really did.
She was not particularly good, and it was me. I floated the idea of Vin Diesel, but I think at least one of you, probably Chris, agreed that Vin Diesel did not exactly show his best in Triple X.
He's struggling.
Is Chris talking, or is he?
He is talking, but we're not hearing him.
He may have muted himself.
I think
while Chris fixes that,
I'll go.
He still hasn't fixed it yet. Yeah, on you
He
go,
still...
Andy, while Chris fixes his sound.
Right. I'm going to go with Jessica Biel for bronze because she was a bit shit. And then Jared from Reign of Fire, definitely, silver. And the cast of The Room gets gold all day long.
It was because you didn't want to nominate Vin Diesel, did you, really? So you had to go with Jared.
Yep. Right, is he back yet?
It's a tough one for me. I think...
Is it working now?
It is working, Chris, you're back.
I think it's my controller's broken down.
I'll go next anyways to see if Chris gives him some more thinking time. I think I nominated everyone. Well, I'm not sure if The Room was my nomination, but I think I nominated the other 3, so it is tough. But I think I might follow suit, actually. I mean, it doesn't actually matter if Chris's audio works. I think I will go exactly the same as you, where Jessica Biel...
I don't even know what your audio was, so this could be interesting.
Oh.
And yeah, so Jessica Biel, bronze. Jared from Reign of Fire, silver, and then the cast of The Room is definitely the worst acting
I've ever
seen, I think. So Chris, see if you can clean sweep here.
Well, I thought we had my bronze was Vin Diesel because Jessica Biel didn't bother me that much actually. My silver is Scott James Mouter, because he was that memorable.
Jared,
And
brackets Jared, as I've got written on the
and obviously gold to the cast of the room. It was a god awful film.
Well deserved award.
Well deserved.
He's fucked off. He doesn't give a shit now. He's off.
He's gone. That's it. He's just here.
He's
The
done.
room was the worst acting.
I'm trying to fix things,
Right, okay. Technical difficulties. Well, while you do that,
as always.
I have got a special award that was not
Ooh.
nominated, but I created,
Ooh.
which I will try and outline for the lads here. On an episode, a term was mentioned, and I decided that we were going to try and reclaim it on the podcast. So,
We're
in
bringing it
honor of
back.
that, the next award is Best Jimmy. Is the next award.
Hey, bring the Jimmys
and we've
back.
got 4
Chris looks
nominees of
confused.
Best Jimmy of the season. So these are
Jimmy.
your Best Jimmy. we have Jimmy Logan from Logan Lucky.
No, Chris, that's not best Jimmy. He still doesn't know what a Jimmy is.
I think I know what you mean, but
It was the first Jimmy nominee. Second nominee, James Remar. Him being James, he's obviously Jimmy. He was in both Blade 3 and Django Unchained this season.
He
So,
was.
He's definitely a good Jimmy.
He's
for us.
definitely a good Jimmy.
Next nominee, John Travolta. He played James in Look Who's Talking. Also Jimmy, obviously. And our final nominee, Jamie Foxx, is our final nominee for Best Jimmy of the Year. Any
He
thoughts
is-
on
he
who
is-
the best-
He is the only Jimmy.
I thought it was a euphemism for dicks being shown, but no.
I don't think it was. I think you're forgetting our episode where Jimmy came up. I think. So Andy, it's me first, really.
I forget a lot of stuff.
I think. It's a tough one. So I think I'm going to go with bronze for Channing Tatum, since he actually was a Jimmy. He was the only one who was Jimmy in this. Second is James Remar, because he showed up twice, so he's my silver. But Jimmy Foxx, the best Jimmy of the season. The Jimmy to beat all others, I would say. So
Nah.
Jimmy Foxx is
Nah.
my medal.
Wrong.
I'll go for bronze, James Remar.
Mhm.
I'm going to say my silver is John Travolta's James. And I'll go gold, Jamie Foxx.
Gold for Jamie Foxx as well. And Andy,
I would have gone bronze for Jamie Foxx, and then I would have went.
bronze.
Then I would have went Jimmy Logan silver because he's a Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would have went John Travolta as gold because he was amazing.
He was your number 1 Jimmy of the season, was he? It was inevitable, but Jamie Foxx is our best Jimmy.
There
Let's
couldn't
hope
really be
Ben
another
Jimmy
Jimmy.
And Chris needs to now go back and watch our Django Unchained episode and find out what.
Ah, got it.
There he goes. He's worked out what a Jimmy is.
On
We
to the
definitely need
next
to bring
one.
more terms back though. I want more terms. Bring them back.
Yeah, definitely. If any Jimmys are out there watching, please send us films you want us to watch. We want to hear from all you Jimmys.
See
most
you, Jimmy.
I see you, Jimmy, exactly. Most underused of the season. We had 13 nominees. I tried to spread a few of them around so that everybody gets mentioned in different awards as well. But we're left with 7 nominees for most
Oof.
underused. So this is underused specifically. Brie Larson in 21 Jump Street. David Strathairn in Fracture. Jack Black in Waterworld. Jeffrey Tambor in Slickers. Joe Pantoliano in The Goonies. Peter Stormare in The Imaginarium, etc., and Samuel L. Jackson in Triple X, not in Django. He was used efficiently and perfectly in Django, but Triple X is used for Samuel L. Jackson. And it will be Chris to go first. Any initial thoughts from anybody who jumps out or doesn't jump out?
I really do. You know what? I'll go for my bronze as Joe Pantoliano, whatever he's called in Goonies.
That was right. You got it spot on.
My silver, I'll go Brie Larson.
Brie Larson.
You slacked her
Yeah.
off in that film.
Oh no, shit! No, I forgot about somebody else. Sorry,
all
my
right,
silver
good
is Jack Black.
Jack Black is
I
silver.
missed his name there. And my gold is Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. is gold. Yeah, I've already kind of forgotten what Brie Larson was like in that film. Like she was this
Plain.
school kid that
Yeah.
Jonah Hill, yeah, but she was underused. I don't know if it was her star power, her acting ability, or whatever we were talking about being underused, but she got well and truly nominated by one or more of us. Andy, what are you thinking
Right.
about people who were underused this season?
Right. Just because somehow his career survived, after being in the film as Peter Stormare in the Imaginarium. So yeah, that's bronze. Silver, Joe Pantalililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililililil he was an amazing character and was only in it for about 30 seconds.
This is the thing. You were the one that I think I ended up debating with on the episode where I was like, Jack Black has to be most underused, and your argument was nobody knew who Jack Black was.
Well, they didn't.
And we were like, and we agreed, yes, no one did, but we thought, or one day on set, surely they would find out this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's put them in more. You thought, but,
I think he only did the
yes.
never-ending story before then.
But yeah,
This is like,
so
what?
No, I'm trying to think of what film I remember him from, which I'm not going to say because it might come up next season.
that's the thing,
But there's a film that I remember him in specifically.
The Jackal.
But I can't. Yes, that's the one. Thank you. I wasn't going to say it, but you said it.
That was his big star breaking role.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And from mine, I'm going Jeffrey Tambor as my bronze because I think he was a big enough name at the time that he should have been given a bigger role. He was kind of like, was he Billy Crystal's boss? I think he was in City Slickers at the radio studio or wherever it was he worked.
Right. Yeah, I know who you are now.
He could have been one of the main characters, I thought, at that time. My silver, I think Samuel L. Jackson needs to be silver because I think I was sold on that film by, Samuel L. Jackson's in this, and then he's not really in Triple X that much. It's about 3 scenes.
No.
He's barely in it. But I'm
You want to watch Triple X 3?
Oh yes. Jack Black is my gold as well, which I think, that wins Jack Black because we all went for it. So Jack Black, most underused. I feel like we haven't covered Jack Black properly on the podcast.
No, he's not had his film yet.
Yeah, it's an omission that might get rated at some point soon. But I feel like
Jackal's coming in.
kind of guy.
Exactly.
There you go. A couple of more awards to go before our break here, but
Before Chris
a
goes
special
piss himself.
This award is very dear
Too
to
late.
one panelist's heart.
Poops.
So I don't know if we want to let this particular panelist vote himself or
is
whether
it
the other
Poops?
two get a say. It's not boobs.
No
It's
poops.
best sets.
I love best
award.
sets.
There were 5 nominees in total, all nominated by the same person, and it was all Andy. So I don't know if this is Andy's award to decide on his own, Chris. I don't know how you feel about it, or do you want a say in this as well?
I'll have a little say.
We can all have a say then. So Andy, your 5 nominees were The Atoll in Waterworld,
Aye.
Audrey 2 and The Shop in Little Shop of Horrors. You just said the sets in The Mummy, but I mentioned like the bookcase set. And
I meant all the sets.
Right, so all the sets in The Mummy. So it says bookcases in your little form you're getting here. One-Eyed Willie's ship in The Goonies, and the space jockey in Alien were the 5 nominees for best sets. And that was it. I felt like it was every episode you talked about how great the sets were, but it was only 5 times you actually mentioned it. So I know it was Casper and a few other things from the previous season, but this season it was just those 5.
Right, I've got it. I'm going to do this. Here we go.
Right, you lead off.
Right. Silver. No, bronze. Bronze is going to be... Oh, it's close, it's close. It's going to sneak in there. Audrey 2, Little Shop of Horrors. Because the whole animatronics, the whole thing actually, not even just the shop, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Silver, One-Eyed Willie ship, because they built a fucking ship. And gold goes to the Atoll in Waterworld, because they built a fucking floating city.
Yes, they did. And they still have in one of the Disney parks, haven't they? Or
Yes.
Universal Park to this days.
So, yeah, fair play to them.
Good. You want to go next, Chris?
I agree with 2 of your nominations, but my bronze is the space jockey from Alien because of the sheer size of it. The silver is One-Eyed Willie's ship because, like you said, they built a huge fucking ship. My gold is the Atoll.
The Atoll wins. The Atoll was also going to be my gold as well, so I'll just do it well in there. So I'm giving it a clean sweep. It's definitely the best set. I'd have followed it up with Audrey 2. I think you're both underrating Audrey 2 as being incredible. One-Eyed Willie, why not for a bronze?
They built
Yeah,
a
the
ship.
Atoll- Yeah. The bookcases and the rest of the Mummy didn't even get 1 nomination there, which is a bit harsh as well.
That was
But, yeah,
good.
the
All
Atoll-
good, all worthy sets.
There was a lot of good sets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Atoll, very, very, very worthy winner. Okay, on to our final award on the first half of the show here,
Ooh.
and I've moved it from the end because we all know what's happened. we all know what the worst film of season 3 was, and we'll get it out of the way now, and we can worry about the good things at the end of the show.
Don't know, this is close. I reckon it's close.
Okay, we have the bottom
It is
5.
by 1 point.
There are 5 that were below the rest. Everything else was a 5 or above. So when you look at how bad you think some of the films we've watched, we rated 15 films this season as a 5 or better, which is pretty good for us, considering we rarely really well. we don't always agree on everything like that. So the bottom 5 were as follows. The 5th worst film of the season was Triple X, with a 4 out of 10. I rated it 1 higher than both of you. I was a 5, you were both a 4, so Triple X was the 4th bottom. With the same score, but I try and balance it. If someone votes it really high, that kind of brings it down. As in, Andy gave Look Who's Talking a 6, and me and Chris are both a bit lower, so that means it's the 4th worst, because it was only one person thought it was good. And also, 6 is pretty high, considering where it is in the table, Andy. I don't know
Such a banger.
if you consider Look Who's Talking. But that was probably one of your highest rated films of the year.
It's such a good film.
So that's the 4th worst. Shockingly, and I feel really harshly, the 3rd worst film of season 3 was Reign of Fire.
What? I thought it was better than that.
It got a 4. It was a 3 from Andy, a 4 from me, and a 5 from Chris. But when you look at the numbers, it's probably a fair rating. Andy's rated it pretty low. I don't know if it's as bad as a 3.
Such a bad film.
But yeah, that's the 3rd worst. And they all averaged a 4. So it's a bit unfair to include them here, because they're comfortably better than the last 2 here. And as Chris knows, there's 1 point, as in the bottom film got a 1, a 1, and a 1, and the second bottom film got a 1, a 1, and a 2. And that's because I find The Room hilarious. It means that it got a 2 rather than a 1, means it's the 2nd worst film of the year, with a 1 rating, and the worst film that we've ever done and can never be beaten, Imaginarium, Dr. Parnassus, Never Again. And it means a hat trick for Chris, where he has picked the worst film of every season we've done.
Yeah,
It's a shit film, but you voting The Room 2 because it made you laugh is
hilarious.
shocking.
The most I've laughed at any 20 films this season was The Room, and that's
No.
something, considering we did 5, 6 comedies.
In all fairness, if we had to re-vote on this, right, I would much rather watch Dr. Parnassus over The Room again.
Yeah, so would I.
Oh, there you go. Unfortunately, that's not how it works.
Revote.
What did you pick in season 1 that was really bad? Or Doom? I was going to say that every time
That's a travesty. That's not that bad a film.
The sewers were awful.
Well, you'd seen that. I was going to say your issue was that you hadn't seen all of them, but you had seen Doom, but you hadn't seen Scanner Darkly or The Imaginarium, which sets them apart. But yeah, comfortably the worst film. I say will never be beaten unless we change the scoring system, which I don't know. I think we're settled now. It kind of works.
It works.
So the worst film, Pointy, goes to The Imaginarium. But before we head off to intermission, what we usually do halfway through each episode is we have a little quiz, and Chris was our quiz master this year. And being the fantastic quiz master that he was, he's not been keeping score throughout the season. So it came to me to do that again. So
I was until Andrew threw his effect and stopped doing it.
The infamous pass episode of
Pass.
which was the 3rd episode we did this season. It was really early, Andy giving up. So 20 quizzes in all. There were no less than 7 ties. We tied 7 times. However, I've got 3 asterisks next to that. Asterisk number 1. Well, I have 2 asterisks, really. Asterisk number 1. In one quiz, Andy was asked 1 question more than I was, and then we drew. So, technically, it's a bit unfair, because he got it right.
Sorry.
So that was a draw, but I'll let that one. And next asterisk, I can't remember why. I remember why now, but in one quiz we tied because Andy was given 2 bonus points because Chris fucked up and didn't offer a question over. So he didn't offer a question over, and Andy somehow got 2 points for that, and we ended up drawing. So again, take that one for a draw if you want. So 7 draws. Out of the remaining 13 quizzes, Andy won 3 and I won 10. So,
robbed.
I won something like the 7 of the first 8 quizzes. I think I won.
And that's what Andrew started to say. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
That's because you gave me the world's hardest questions every single quiz.
I tried to make her feel like I tried to keep the football ones away from Bruce and tried to get you.
Then you start going, oh, fucked up. I've given you the wrong way around.
I have, because I added questions. I had it carried out and I was like, oh, I thought of a question. I would add it in. I lose track of
The one thing
who
our
was getting
listeners will
what
pick
question.
up on is when they go back, movie knowledge, I know way more.
There was one quiz that I think it was a film I picked. It might be Django, I think, where you just completely just stomped all over me and got like 3 points, so I got none. But
3
there was
points.
two. I think there was 2 this season where Chris completely ballsed up his question asking and ended up asking somebody 2 questions in a row, and I had to go and move the order again. So there was one quiz where it was like me, Andy, me, Andy, me, Andy, Andy, me. Like it's like even keeping track of it. But yeah, I think the quizzes were a success, and let's say Andy didn't win. So I didn't lose 10 of them, and I won 10 of them. So it's kind of quite balanced when you look at it that way. I did win 10 and I won 10. So a lot of draws. But there we go.
20 films.
Exactly.
7 ties.
That brings us to the halfway point. I don't know if we have any halftime entertainment or whatever.
Oh, there'll be something. Post-production. I might put a picture of Dancing Baby or something in.
There we go. So we'll now throw to go get yourself a drink, toilet break, and come back to us after the break here, which will be a matter of seconds for you, but I don't know what it'll be for us.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling, I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. Lips as sweet as candy.
Welcome back to the Season 3 Pointy Awards here on the 10 Point Podcast. We've just been looking through over intermission all the winners there with a nice even spread throughout all the different films we've done this season. Before we get back into voting again, I've got a few other awards that I need to just quickly mention before we go on. I've collected together a few of the awards that essentially got one nominee or one runaway winner. Rather than us voting on it, I thought I might as well just put all these together. Because a few awards were invented this season. As I laid out to Chris and Andy off podcast, there were 45 different awards that we invented or were
bigger than the
nominated.
Oscars.
So that's too many. So I nailed down a few to just the one winner. So here's a list of other winners that we're now going to honour in person, as it were, this evening. The worst accent, that went to Anthony Hopkins for his Irish accent in Fracture. We mentioned
Irish,
best...
Welsh, Scottish, German, fucking everything.
There was a hotly contested worst cop award earlier on, but best cop, there was a runaway winner this season, and that was Ramirez from Devil. Who actually was a security guard, but we have established that security guards count as cops on the podcast because he quite accurately predicted
the
and
devil.
was ahead of absolutely everything that happened in that film, and nobody else was strong enough to rival him. Worst kiss, that only got one nomination this season. Vin Diesel and Asia Argento in Triple X, one of the most awkward things I think I've ever watched.
Chris, replicate it.
What?
Replicate it.
I can't remember it.
It was in a nightclub and very uncomfortable is what it was. Best special effects, an absolute runaway winner, this one here. There were a few nominees, but nothing could rival the sperm from Look Who's Talking. Because
we still don't know.
Like the early 90s.
We don't know. That could have been real. It might not even been a special effect. We don't know it was that good.
There's a wee camera in there that just followed them through it.
Andy is our master of sets, but we only got one worst sets mentioned in the whole season, and that was the last episode. The Room was nominated and is the runaway winner with
random green screens.
Green screens and a staircase that doesn't go anywhere, that clearly doesn't go anywhere because people are standing on it and all that. Best stunt had to be the slide down under the bridge from Triple X, which in fact killed the stuntman on the second or third take.
Yep.
But it was the runaway winner for
Definitely
best
deserves
stunt.
a win there.
I'd completely forgotten this was nominated until I watched back. We nominated for Worst Soundtrack Blade Trinity, and no other film got nominated for Worst Soundtrack. So Blade Trinity as a whole.
That's because it didn't
won
have a
Worst
banger of
Soundtrack.
Blood Rave.
Well, exactly, it was missing the Blood Rave, or the fake Blood Rave from the second Blade film that we like so much. Best Score, City Slickers again was the only nominee for Best Score. No other film got nominated. Alien was the only thing that jumped to mind, but I feel like there's barely any music in Alien. But City Slickers was Best Score. Worst Twist, another win for Triple X, making it the third award in a row here, or out of like 5 or 6.
Is that killing all your scientists?
Yelena being a spy.
Oh, that one.
Being
yeah.
twist in that film was the worst twist. Best hair, nobody could rival Tommy Wiseau's hair in the room. Worst villain, a runaway winner of Penelope Cruz being the villain in Grimsby, if you remember that. Was the worst villain. Andy invented best voice work, specifically for somebody.
Bruce Willis.
The runner-up has to be Levi Stubbs from Little Shop of Horrors, but nobody nominated him. But yeah, Bruce Willis, look who's talking, was why it was invented. The next award has the runner-up as well. Worst costume / hair. Kevin Costner's very expensive haircut was the runner-up. Runner-up to Denny's hair from The Room, because that was his main characteristic, was that he had horrendous hair. And then Denny goes back to back, because I did try to the most annoying kid, because I always rant about how annoying children are, and every film Andy nominated had children in it. But Chunk just didn't quite get the voting behind him, so Denny was most annoying child, despite probably not actually being a child when you look at the film as a whole. But yeah, Chunk was probably the closest run thing out of those. But yeah, they're all the runaway winners for the minor awards, shall we say, to the season. But back to the important stuff. We're getting towards some of the big ones now. Ooh. But before we get to the A++ level awards, we've got a couple to go. Next award, Best Supporting. So this is not necessarily the acting per se, but more of a role or a small bit part player who brought something special to the film. 5 nominees for Best Supporting. Dennis Hopper in Waterworld. Gary Oldman in Leon. Ice Cube in 21 Jump Street. Steve Martin in Little Shop of Horrors. And Triple H in Blade Trinity. How about that for a 5 song? Pick your 1, 2, 3.
I'm telling you,
the hardest.
We need to run the Oscars here. We've got this down. Fuck your committees. Just us 3 picking shit now like this.
Although we are a committee.
I want to introduce a platinum for this one.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought this might be the actual hardest 5 to pick a 3 out of the whole of the categories, I would say.
I've got it.
First, since you both... All right, on you go, Andy. You go
I've got it. Right. Bronze. It's going to be... Dennis Hopper, Waterworld. Because that was a flamboyant character right there. I'm gonna do it. Silver. Ice Cube, 21 Jump Street, because every time he was on the screen, he was amazing.
Yes.
But I'm gonna give gold to Steve Martin, Little Shop of Horrors.
Gets the gold. I mean, I'm not far different, I don't think.
I was struggling with Gary Oldman. He's the whatever's below bronze.
Yeah, I think I'm going bronze for him.
Stone.
I think I will go. Yeah, I think because all 3 of them in Leon, him, Leon, and Natalie Portman are all really good. So I'm going to go bronze for Gary Oldman. I'm struggling to split Ice Cube and Steve Martin. I think they're my top 2. Triple H, I want to mention. I just want to make sure. I thought Triple H was really good.
He gets an honourable mention, yeah.
Yeah, he's my honourable mention. Ice Cube or Steve Martin, they both serve the same role, I would say, in their films. They're both like the guy who lights up the screen when they're on. I'll go silver Ice Cube because I knew it was coming, but gold for Steve Martin because I didn't know it was coming. How about that? That's how I'll decide it. So, unfortunately, Chris, I don't think you could make a difference here. So, Chris, give us your 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1.
My bronze, I'm going for Gary Oldman. My silver is Steve Martin, and my gold is Dennis Hopper because I thought he was fucking brilliant in that film.
Right. Okay. He's the only one I didn't mention. He didn't make it into my discussion. I thought he was good enough. I think you two were the ones.
Ice Cube is good, but he plays the same character in every film.
I love the use of a motherfucker in a film. It just works.
Samuel L. Jackson's got that down, so it's his.
I don't know. I want to see probably is a film. Ice Cube, Samuel L. Jackson, just motherfucker off.
Motherfucker.
Did Ice Cube not replace Vin Diesel, or is that a different?
No, he did.
Yeah, there you go. So then Triple X, yeah, Triple X.
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
it was.
Who knew?
There you go.
I don't think that's a motherfucker off though.
So winner Steve Martin. I think that's perfectly what. That's the difference between best acting and best supporting. I think.
But he came on, I fucking died. Just the way he came on, it was brilliant.
But yeah, I don't know what makes them the best supporting and Vern Troyer getting best acting, but that's just how it works, I'm afraid.
Also, we don't condone wife beating and women beating and shit like that for Steve Martin, even though he won best award.
I forgot about that.
It's his acting, not necessarily his acting.
Yeah.
On to the next award, another podcast favourite. It's the worst father figure award. This
Chris.
was definitely primed.
I can't be nominated.
Yeah, Chris has not made it into the nominees.
What time do the kids go to bed tonight?
I don't know. They're still out of Nicola's mum's.
That's why.
Good idea.
Go away. Don't come back until after 9.
That's why he's fleeing. They're gonna come back at 9 o'clock. Last award, but I'm fucking pissed.
You'll never guess.
So much.
Yeah, see, worst father figure.
Worst father figure. We had 20 episodes. We found 10 worst fathers this season, but I've nailed it down to 5. So 5 nominees. Albert in Look Who's Talking, Eddie in Reign of Fire, Johnny in The Room, Matilda's father in Leon, and Phil in City Slickers. Now I feel like this is the one needing most explaining out of the awards so far. So Albert in Look Who's Talking, that is the boss who was the father of Kirstie Alley's child, who did nothing involving the kid for the rest of the film.
Rest in peace, though.
Eddie in Reign of Fire, he was the guy who was trying to escape at the beginning and full on led his family out into a dragon attack. Johnny from The Room, his relationship with Denny that Andy had several questions about. Matilda's father, of course, generally just how he was, and then Phil is Slickers. That's Marv from Home Alone. He banged Lisa Simpson and got her pregnant, and then just disappeared off on a horse riding adventure and all this sort of stuff. So they are the 5. I think it's me to go first, isn't it? This was really because I feel like you're grading how the bad things they did on a scale here, so it makes it quite tough to actually rank them. But I'm going to rule out Eddie because we don't really know who he was, and Johnny, I always thought
he wasn't a dad.
He was. I feel like he was funding Denny. He was he was paying for him to live in the house.
He was paying for stuff.
Exactly. So at least he
That's
was
a pimp, not a dad.
Hey.
At least he was the 3. I am gonna go. I'll go Phil as my bronze, Albert as my silver. They're pretty much the same problem, them two. But Matilda's dad in Leon, I think he is the worst dad, and he got killed. So good. That's my silver, bronze, gold, and whatever order they're supposed to go. Chris.
I've gone for Albert as my bronze because he did want to see his kid eventually. Matilda's father as silver because he was just a dick. I almost said the C word there. Had to restrain myself. But Eddie from Reign of Fire because he literally got his kids killed.
I'm exactly the same as Chris. I'm the same as Chris. Yeah.
So that wins it.
Because he actually killed his entire family, the prick.
Because I didn't vote for him, unfortunately, he doesn't win. That means that Matilda's dad, and 2 silvers and a gold beats 2 golds, I'm afraid. So Matilda's dad, he is the winner. He is the worst father, despite him dying and his family survived. Well, actually, nearly his whole family died. Matilda's the only one that actually survives. So technically, they both killed at least one of their kids. Bad fathers all round. Not so much banter in that one as there has been in previous seasons.
I'm a good dad. I love my kids.
Oh, sad bastard.
Next
I don't feel blaming me for being a bad dad.
It's fine. Nobody's slagging us off on YouTube yet anyway. We're all good.
Not so far anyway.
Just that one Spanish twat.
The next award. This is a setup for one of our major awards later on, but we feel this needs to be presented too. Best Plan is the next award. The best plan. There are 5 nominees of this one here. Pick your best plans from Anthony Hopkins' murder plot in Fracture, buying some nuts to brave a squirrel to take a punch for you in Kung Pao into the fist. Matilda.
That's such a good plan.
Matilda walks to Leon's door rather than her own, avoids being killed. Our man Schultz's bounty hunting plans throughout Django, not necessarily the plan to buy Brumhilda at the end, but when he was catching all the bounties. And the top 10 rules for robbing a bank from Logan Lucky is the 5th and final nomination for best plan. Some good and successful plans in there, chaps.
Right, I'm going to do that.
I can feel the panel's leaning one way already.
Right, I'm purely basing this on the success of the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for Matilda walking to Leon's door because ultimately that saved her life. That's bronze. Oh. Logan Lucky, top 10, because they did get away with it. Maybe at the end of the sequel, the FBI agent finds it. Ultimately, they got away with it. However, the plan was flawless. I can't even say it.
I was from you go for the squirrel.
Squirrel, I would imagine. Yeah.
Squirrel. It just works. Absolutely foolproof. It saved the day. You just didn't expect it. Such a good plan.
Cool. Me next. I'll go a different direction from Andy. I'm going to go Anthony Hopkins' plot. His plan was genius. A couple of wrinkles out of his control kind of cost him in the end. He was essentially getting away with it. I thought it was a great plan, and it was like a genius plan of how to do it. So, but it failed. So I'm giving him only bronze. I'm gonna go for.
It's good.
See, I'm not as high on the squirrel as you guys. I think I'm leaving the squirrel. I'm gonna go Schultz's bounty hunting next because he was like the best. But I think the robbing the bank plan, because they had 10 things, they stuck to it. They were also funny as well, and yeah, they got away with it in the end. I'm giving my gold to Logan Lucky.
Fuck.
Wide open one here, Chris.
It is. Much to Andrew's dismay, I'm going for bronze for the squirrel getting thing.
Travesty.
Mostly because it worked. I'm going for my silver as Schultz's bounty hunting exploits because it did eventually get himself killed. And my gold is the top 10 rules for robbing a bank because they technically did get away with it. Yeah. Almost.
They got most of it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a win. Logan Lucky's robbing a bank.
Travesty. That nuts.
Honourable mention by far for that squirrel plan. Amazing. Okay. We've got one award to run over here before we get on to the big awards here. So this is one that Andy invented, this award, throughout the season. He invented it for one specific nominee, and then I've picked up a few more only one thing was nominated, but I picked a few more to make sure that we filled out a category here. So Andy nominated, or picked up an award, invented the award, I should say, Best Pornographic Scene. Is what he
Jesus.
And he nominated, upon inventing it, he nominated bacon cooking in Logan Lucky. And he said that was the most pornographic scene, blah, blah, blah.
It was. That was the best crispiest bacon I've ever seen in a film.
So I've tried to find, I went through the rest of the season for some pornography, and I've come up with a few things. First, these are in alphabetical order, so the first one...
I'm keeping this award for next season.
Right, good, cool. First nomination, Andy and Chris passing around the Kung Pao DVD like it is pornography. It's the first nomination. Or second one. Second one, the elephants in Grimsby. I think that speaks for itself, really. I've got to say, there's a lot going on there.
Bukkake elephant party.
A bukkake elephant party.
You can't classify pornography, but you know what it is when you see it. I think the elephants fits into that category. Next nominee, Johnny and Lisa, Mark and Lisa, and Johnny and Lisa again in the first 40 minutes of the room.
That was some porno.
This is Andy's terminology for the next nominee. The porking scene at the beginning of the film Fracture. That is the next one. It was porking, specifically. And the last one, Ellen Ripley in her undies at the very end of Alien. Our last pornographic scene.
God, he's broken.
Biggest three out of that.
He's broken.
Oh, my heart. Right. I think it's me. I don't think I've gone for it a while.
I think it's you to go first.
I'm going to say bronze. Me and Andy passive and Kung Pao like it was a porno.
Look at this. Whoa.
It was like literally, because I filmed back, I want to watch it again.
It was.
My silver, the Elephant Bukkake Party. An honourable mention has to go to Andy's porking scene. But my gold is definitely the rooms. Numerous porn scenes in the first half an hour to 40 minutes.
Half hour, 40 minutes, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, God.
But,
Right.
I think, well, I'll leave you to the end, Andy. You invented it.
Oh
Alright.
my god.
I'll go next. I like the mental image of you and Chris with that DVD. So that's my bronze between the two. This cheeky DVD. I'm going to flip Chris's round though. I'm going the room's endless sex scenes is my silver, but the elephants is the most pornographic thing I've ever seen. I don't know. But Andy, this is your invention. How
Right. I'm going to go for me and Chris passing Kung Pao around like porn. I'm going to go for the Bukkake Elephant Party, silver. But I'm still saying that bacon by far beats everything. That's gold.
That is still the best, is it? Well, it was invented for that, so definitely that is the honourable mention. But the winner's the elephants. That is the most pornographic thing I think we'll ever come podcast.
I don't think we can beat an Elephant Bukkake Party.
No, I don't think so. Unless YouTube opens its limits up a wee bit more to other things, so that might be as bad as it gets. So that is all of the also rans, the mediocre awards. Now on to the A+. These are the 10-point podcasts. We've got the 6 major awards. The Oscars, they've got their majors, your best director, your best actor, all that sort of stuff. But these are the 10-point podcasts. Top 6 awards of every year.
All of a sudden.
I know, it's pressure.
It's the last. So the first of the top, well, actually it's top 7 I think, but the first of our major awards, best line. This is the best line, best quote from a film of the season. And I've put this in the top because I think you guys will just laugh at me having to say all these things. So, first quote from City Slickers. I can get an erection anytime I want.
Oh, we're soundboarding Bruce next season.
From 21 Jump Street. I'll beat your dick off with both hands. Let's go. Next. From The Room. In a few minutes, bitch. Next one. Excuse me. From Grimsby. So the first one is from Grimsby. Was it Nobby? Meet the head of the biggest crime syndicate in the world. And he asks, does she run FIFA? Is the next one. From Logan Lucky. Melly. That rhymes with smelly. It's the next one. From Look Who's Talking. Starts with grunt while taking a dump. So, too much fruit. It's the next one, which I think slayed Chris on that episode.
Just watching the film.
Next nominee, best line from Kung Pao Into the Fist. What do you get when you cross an owl with a bungee cord? My ass! And then, from Devil, why don't you suck a butt? Is Devil.
That sounds good.
From Blade 3, you cock juggling thunder cunt. From Blade 3. And from Django Unchained, upon Django saying nothing and from Hilda collapsing, says,
God.
you silver-tongued devil.
Oh, there's a lot of good lines in here.
10 nominees this line here, which is going to make it very hard.
I've got my gold. I've got my gold.
Oh, I can probably write down your gold now. I'm not confident what you're going to say. I don't know who's going first.
I'll go.
Me?
I'll go. I've got it. I've got it.
You got it. Right, you go then.
Right. Bronze. I can get an erection anytime I want, City Slickers. Silver. I'll beat your dick off with both hands for Jump Street. And gold. is you cock-juggling thundercock. Aye, cunt from Blade.
Yes, I thought you might lean that direction. I think it's the only one Ryan Reynolds says in this list, so I thought it was fine. I think a lot of this was me and Chris nominating these. We were the ones giggling at the quotes here. I am going to go. What's my third? I don't know what
That's what I was struggling with.
Because I thought it was a great joke, I'm going for the Grimsby one, but it's at least rude. But yeah, it's my bronze. Silver is definitely in a few minutes, bitch, because it is an absolute belter out of nowhere. But I can get an erection anytime I want to watch. It's brilliant comedy, so I'm going for that as the best line.
Ah, fuck. My bronze is the too much fruit from Lucas talking because of the fucking killing fruit.
Yeah, you almost died on podcast.
My silver is it's got to be in a few minutes, bitch, because it came out of nowhere.
yeah.
And
Totally.
I agree with Andrew. My gold is you cock juggling thunder cunt.
Well, that wins it, I think.
Yay! Ryan Reynolds was his first award.
His award?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Too hot for this. We should never do your Pointies in the summer.
I'm pretty sure it's gone up a degree in my house just laughing.
On to the next big one then. This is a staple of the Pointies. I think I've said that a few times tonight, but this is one of the... It always comes to mind when watching a film. So, if I can get my finger to work again. It is Best Inanimate Object.
Oh, yes.
Season 3. This comes
That's
up quite a lot. 13 nominees there were. I've whittled down to 6. So these are your 6. I believe this was a Chris quote. A snooker ball and a Johnny from Grimsby is the first one. Baby Ruth from Goonies. The ball machine that does stuff in Fracture. The chair that O'Connell throws at Benny in The Mummy. The Mariner's ship from Waterworld. And the tooth cart from Django is your final of the 6 nominees.
Oh.
I had to put in the chair that O'Connell throws at Benny because The Mummy was struggling for nominations. Fewer than everyone else. So I went on YouTube and I typed in Mummy chair Benny or something like that, and I saw the clip and I thought, yep, that deserves to be nominated. So if you don't remember it, Benny sees O'Connell, tries to run away, and he just full on lobs a wooden chair, and it totally just wrecks Benny when it hits him. So I thought, yeah, that deserves to be nominated. The snooker ball and the Johnny, I think it was a weapon they had.
It was a kid.
Oh yes, and the pub.
I think so, yeah.
Right, okay, I got you now. I couldn't remember that one at all.
But that was you nominated, Dan. The rest, I think, self, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, Ashley first.
Right. Tough, I think. Because it was just good rather than being, I don't know, hilarious. I'm going to go the ball machine because it was cool, but also because I thought the film was going to involve it, but it didn't, like at all. I think. Do I go practicality, or do I go? The tooth cart is my gold because it was amazing. Because the wobbly tooth was a star. Silver, the Baby Ruth. Because I'd never heard of it before or after. So Baby Ruth's my silver.
You never heard of Baby Ruth? Not
before the Goonies, and I don't think I've ever seen one or had one after the. Like I've probably seen it.
It's the Snickers.
Yeah, it's Snickers, but yeah. So Baby Ruth's my silver because he was well annoyed in that film before it was all schla.
My bronze. Jesus. I'm gonna go for the ball machine that's in the Fracture because I'd seen it and I still thought it was still involved in the film.
And you fucking hated it.
No, because I thought it was in the film, but it wasn't. It just annoyed me because it wasn't in the film.
Yeah.
My silver. I'm sure I got it right. I'm gonna go for the Mariner's ship in Waterworld.
That's where I was struggling.
And my gold is the tooth cart from Django, just because it wobbled about.
I'm glad you voted that way because that's the other way I was going to go. So I'm glad you got that in there. Andy.
Ball, bronze, and ball machine.
Ball machine, right?
I'm gonna go wobbly tooth silver because it was good, but it annoyed the shit out of me. But then the Mariner ship is gold.
Yeah, fair play. Wobbly tooth is the winner. But yeah, another tough one. I didn't think that was gonna be as hard as that one there. But yeah, Inanimate object, another successful season, I would say. Now, one of our favourite awards is up next. Initially with 9 nominations, whittled down to whittled down to 6. It is the Michael Pena Award for the best storytelling in a film.
Oh.
In honour.
It's not been a lot of storytelling.
No, well, I say there was 9 awards or 9 nominees. Yeah, 9 nominees, which is less than half of the episodes, I guess. But in honour of Luis from Ant-Man and the way he tells how things happen.
I can't wait for Ant-Man 3. Surely it has to be involved.
Oh, he's gonna have to explain everything, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's gonna have to explain the multiverse.
Yeah. Anyway, the Michael Pena Award, 6 nominees. Chunk lists his misdemeanors in the Goonies, things he has done wrong. From The Room, haha, what a great story, Mark. Mark's story on the rooftop.
Oh, so shit.
Kung Pao into the fist. Master Tang. Now, I can't remember exactly what Master Tang told, but I'm sure it was some sort of tale about ancient fighting and all that. But Master Tang,
Then he killed the dog. That kind of
there we are. From The Mummy, Oded Fair's opening monologue thing from The Mummy.
Oh,
From
yeah.
Devil,
Who was that you thought it was originally?
I thought it was the guy who wore a fez. I don't know. I thought it was him. It sounded like him, and then I'm sure I read it was him. But yeah. Next nominee from Devil, Ramirez, inhibiting the spirit of Michael Pena and telling us the story of the devil. And the final nominee from Blade Trinity, Ryan Reynolds, and his opening kind of explainer monologue thing as well. Yeah, there were a few nominees. I don't have the other 3 that I eliminated from it. I think there was the Goonies I nominated Mikey and the story of One-Eyed Willie as well. But I tried to avoid doing 2 from the one film as often as possible.
Jesus.
I think Chris was first in this one. I think, yeah. Or I'm struggling here.
Okay, my bronze is what a story, Mark. From The Room. My silver, I've got to go Master Tang's telling the story. Then he died. And I've got to go gold as Chunk's misdemeanors because they were good. That was quite good.
Tail. Right, Andy.
Right, I'm gonna go for bronze, Chunk's misdemeanors.
Mm-hmm.
Controversy here. Ryan Reynolds silver.
Only silver.
Good opening monologue, but he got absolutely destroyed by the opening monologue of The Mummy. Because that film is that opening monologue. It's kind of like Star Wars. It sets it right up.
I can't remember it much. That's why I never nominated it.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a different guy, so it didn't land too well. Right. Mark's story was terrible, but it's hilarious because of Johnny's reaction, so it can only get a bronze from me. But the story was a woman had lots of boyfriends, and one beat her up so bad she ended up in the hospital, and that was what a story, Mark, was his response. So bronze because of the reaction. Ramirez's Tale of the Devil for a silver, but I'm going Chunk as my winner, just because I can remember it quite well, and he told it in the Michael Pena style. The quicker and more breathless the telling is, the more likely it's to win. So the winner is Chunk from the Goonies.
I should have nominated Odette. I think he was better than actually. Too late now.
Too late. We're going to the next one. On to Chris's favourite award. It is definitely, because we all know that Chris is a big fan of twists.
Loves twists.
So, best twist of the season. Initially 12 nominees, whittled down to these 8. And they are as follows. Ash is a robot in Alien. Audrey 2 takes over the Earth in the extended version of Little Shop of Horrors. The Bear in the Woods is a man in a bear costume in the woods in Logan Lucky. Currently died in City Slickers. That was the twist from that one. It is water that is in Van Zandt's hip flask in Reign of Fire. Johnny shoots himself with the gun in The Room. The Mariner is a fishman in Waterworld. And the mechanic killed the policeman's family in Devil. Now, the mechanic is your Logan Marshall Green, the main guy in the lift, killing the policeman's family. A tough one, this. None are too dramatic, and none stand out as being, oh yeah, that is the. I did not see that. We don't have a Gone Girl, and we don't have a Prestige this season, and anything like that.
Right, I've got it. So I'm going to go for bronze. Johnny shoots himself because it actually cheered me up.
Ooh.
Finally over. It's a good first twist, but after you know what happens, it's a bit obvious. But I'm going to give Ash silver because he's a robot. But then the one that actually did, surprisingly, like the first time I seen this film, didn't see it coming, is the guy killed the cop's family in a devil.
Ah, okay.
Didn't see that coming, so that's definitely a twist.
It's me next. I hadn't catered in the devil one now. Now I'm thinking about it, because yeah, there was other twists in that film, and that was kind of near the end. I very much enjoyed the Bear in the Woods, so I want to mention that. So I'm getting a bronze for go see the Bear in the Woods and mention about the thing, and it's the guy dressed as a bear. So that was hilarious. It's not much of a twist, but it's the only thing it's nominated in. Silver. Right. Andy's mentioned the mechanic. I'll miss him out. So Curly dying in City Slickers, I'd kind of forgotten. So it was a bit of a twist and a shock to me, especially because Jack Palance had won the Oscar for his role, for him to be eliminated that quickly. But Ash being a robot is a great twist, and kind of watching it, knowing it's a good thing to watch how robot he is and all that. So I think that's a top twist for me. Is that Robot?
Jesus, this is a tough one. There's a lot that I want to nominate, but there's a few that would get like an honourable mention. I'll go for bronze.
If you want.
I know. I'm gonna go on bronze for water in Van Zandt's hip flask because I just thought it was gonna be whiskey that he found somewhere.
Yeah.
Silver, I'll go for Ash as a robot. I mean, I've seen the film 100 times, but yeah. And you know, gold is my Audrey 2 takes over the Earth. I generally thought, like every other film, it would get destroyed and it'd be a happy ending, but no. My twist is shock horror, Little Shop of Horrors.
Hey. Because I really like we didn't. I didn't get that version, or I didn't get that version. That was the period of time where we're all watching different versions. So I didn't see that. So I was not catering into that. But the winner was Ash, an alien, being a robot. Probably I would say the one twist that all three of us watching the season didn't know knew was coming. I think we all would have watched it this time around knowing that was happening. But I think it's a good twist. So an worthy winner, and I'm not sure if Aliens won much so far tonight, so it may be picking up its first award. Only a few to go now. We're getting near the end, and an old award, but renamed again this season. Andy has a way with words, and he happens to come up with the best way to call things. So what used to be the best villain award is now the best bellend award. Andy renamed it halfway through the season. I can't remember who it was for. I think it's for him. But we have 7 nominees for best bellend. Brackets villain. Anthony Hopkins in Fracture. Betty in Kung Pao Into the Fist. The Devil in Devil. The Fratellis in The Goonies. Lisa in The Room. Seth MacFarlane in Logan Lucky. He's the one. He was the first best bellend. And then the Xenomorph in Alien being the final. They are your 7 bellends to pick the best one all. So we are celebrating their villainy here. I can't remember. Is it?
Oh, I think it's me.
I think it's you. No, is it? You went last time, so it must be me. Me to go first, excuse me. So, with me going first, I try to think. In the way, the best villain needs to be the most enjoyable person at being a baddie, which means I have to rule out Lisa because she's so horribly bad. Like, she's a bad person. I don't like her because she's bad, so I have to get rid of her. I think the Fratellis deserve a bronze because they're enjoyable kind of goons, as it were, in the Goonies. Betty is my silver because he's pretty funny. And Anthony Hopkins, I'll give him my gold. Because we did work out, he was the baddie in the film. Gosling's the hero. Anthony Hopkins is the villain. And he was very good at being bad. So Anthony Hopkins, he's my best villain. Chris.
Right, so my bronze is Betty from Kung Pao. My silver, I've gone for Lisa because I really liked hating her.
You enjoyed hitting her.
I did. And my gold, because it's so iconic, is the Xenomorph. There you go.
Here we are. Xenomorph gets a gold vote.
Right, I'm
Right
going to
then,
go for
Lindy.
bronze, Xenomorph, silver, Seth MacFarlane, and
Oh.
gold, Betty from Kung Pao, because he was evil.
I think that wins it for Betty, by my maths. Just ahead of a wee bit ahead of the Xenomorph. Betty, and just about a clear winner. Best bell end. I think that's fair. He was definitely the villain, and he was certainly.
He was trying to kill a
enjoyable and
kid.
fun. Exactly, yeah. I think Seth MacFarlane's the one I want to honourably mention there. I think I had to miss him out. But yeah, he's the reason it's called Best Bell End, that he was enjoyably a bad guy. But I don't think the film wasn't enough about him. I don't think he was a side story. So it brings us on to our last award that we've got to vote on. This is award is clearly massive to the podcast, as in throughout our 20 episodes this season, there were 22 nominations for this award. This is the worst plan of season 3 on the podcast. I don't know if Chris can hear me because he's taking his headphones off.
He's
so he
sweating,
can't hear me.
sweating.
Worst
Anticipation.
plan of season 3. So I've whittled our 22 down to the top 9 worst plans here. So they are as follows. 40-year-olds pretending to be in high school in 21 Jump Street. No other way to put it. Banging a 15-year-old in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
That's a bad plan.
Building a boat bomb and then killing its creators in Triple X. The initial curse of Imhotep from The Mummy. I'll get into that later. The DEA raid in Leon. I'll just step into this puddle of water and fix the electrical fault in Devil. Listening to music while hunting vampires in Blade Trinity. The minigun and flags tactics in Waterworld. And then planting evidence and then telling the lawyer Ryan Gosling about it. These are our worst plans of the season. So, where are we? Curse of Imhotep in The Mummy. Imhotep essentially bangs the Pharaoh's wife, and the Pharaoh curses him by giving him a get-out clause to live infinitely forever after with a superpower. Seems to be that one. The DEA raid, they badly go in 3 at a time to try and catch Leon, and then when they get Matilda, she tells them a fake knock to get in the door, and they totally believe her and end up exposing the fact that they're there. Waterworld, the minigun and flag tactics. The guy shoots the minigun for ages, can't see what's going on, and the method for stopping him from shooting is waving flags around or shouting stop from behind him and all that. And planting evidence that was the police trying to catch out Hopkins, planted evidence, fake evidence and all that. And then they told Ryan Gosling about it and he was going to use it in court and then he didn't and all that sort of stuff. And then I think Andy decided that was the stupidest thing to do. And then Fracture 2 was going to feature the cops being in trouble for planting all the evidence. But they are the 9 worst plans. And I think it's Chris to go first this time, if I remember.
It is.
What happened?
So my bronze, I'm going to go for Fracture's planted evidence and then telling Ryan Gosling because see everything he got off with it and then he went to use his lawnmower. I'm like, oh, hold on, there's a fucking gun here. Oh, they applied evidence.
Yeah.
My silver, it's got to be banging a 15-year-old because it's just wrong. And my gold, listen to music while hunting vampires because they're known for being quiet. And you're listening to music and not be able to hear them. So that's got to be the worst plan imaginable.
My counter argument would be she was still quite successful. That's the only issue. Was that it didn't seem to hinder any. She might be even better if she wasn't doing it, I suppose. But Andy, have you to think?
Aye, right.
Yeah.
Bronze.
I'm empty.
What? I'm looking at the list. Right, bronze. Pretend to be 40-year-olds pretending to be high school kids. It was obvious. Silver. Banging a 15-year-old. That's bad. But the one that kind of got me all the way through was the Curse of Imhotep from The Mummy. Don't do that. That's not a punishment, giving you immortality. Stupid.
A very, very bad punishment, I will have to say.
Oh, I forgot about that. Honourable
Still,
mention.
this is tough for me. Really tough. I can't differentiate. The Bang a 15-year-old has to be silver because I don't want to be different from you guys and look weird. So that's silver for me. We've all judged. Banging a 15-year-old, that's a silver medal plan, I would say. So what's my bronze and what's my gold? Bronze has to be. He sees the electricity as knackered and there's a giant puddle in front of it. And he's just like, oh, I'll just step in. What's the worst that could happen? Is that. So that's my bronze. My gold. It's not that. It's not that. Not that. I think I have to agree with Andy. I think I have to go with that. The Curse of Imhotep. What a way to punish your
That's
most
stupid punishment,
evilest
isn't it?
enemy. Is to give him supernatural powers and the ability to live forever, and also give him the ability to reincarnate the wife that he was banging initially, that got him into trouble. So you're giving him exactly what he wanted, essentially. So yeah, I think that does win it because the Imaginarium 3 silvers only totals that. So yes, 2 golds wins it for the Curse of Imhotep. The worst plan, I think that's been for about the 3rd or 4th episode this season. That's lasted all the way through. I think that was a pretty terrible plan. And that's it for the voting for this evening. That's the last one that we are going to vote on. Leaving the big one, the award of the year, the 10-point podcast best film of season 3. I thought Chris was really pondering things, but I see his camera's frozen at the moment.
Yeah, I'm still here, don't worry.
It's still here. I don't want to reveal it without you. That was all. We need to have all information. So, again, there's a top 5 as there was a bottom 5. These 5 films are above everything else. These all get a 7 or above. So the 5th best film of season 3 was Andy's best film of the season. He gave it an 8. It averaged, or its official rating was a 7, and that's Blade Trinity. That was the 5th best film. You gave something else an 8, Andy. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it was, but it was something unusual that you gave an 8 to.
You mean it was a banger?
It might have been. I can't remember. I'll maybe have a look, see if I can find out. But yeah, 5th best film of the year was Blade Trinity. 4th best film of the year, on tiebreakers, beats Blade Trinity. A 7 from Andy, a 6 from me, and a 7 from Chris. Is the much maligned and unfairly treated Waterworld was our 4th best film of the year.
Yeah.
The Razzie Award winner of.
Out of nowhere, that film was good. Told you.
Yeah. It was really good. I say a 6 was its lowest mark. You also gave City Slickers an 8, Andy. That was your other joint best film of the year. So Waterworld's 4th best. 3rd best film of the year, a little bit ahead of those two. Also a 7 out of 10. Leon, with a 5 from Andy, a 9 from me, and a 7 from Chris.
That's because you didn't watch the version that me and Chris watched.
And that's the difference, yeah. I got the non, I don't know.
You got the clean version.
The clean version, let's put it that way, yeah. So that ranks in the top 3.
Natalie Portman's a sex pest.
yes, she is. Then we have our top 2 of the season, both of which Chris gave an 8. Chris also gave Django Unchained an 8. They were his joint best movie of the year. So in 2nd place, with a 7, Alien.
Oh.
Which I gave a 10. My film of the podcast so far is the top
First 10
score.
you've had.
I gave it a 10, the only 10. It was Alien. Andy only gave it a 4. It came 2nd, and Andy gave it a 4, which is hilarious. Chris gave an 8, as I said. And it would have won any other season. But the highest rated film we've ever done won this season. It got an 8. It's the only film we've ever done where its official TPP rating is an 8. Andy gave it a 6. Chris gave it an 8. I gave it a 9. One of Chris's films of the year. Logan Lucky was the best film of season 3.
What a film.
And it's the best film we have ever done. It's the only film that ever got an 8. So yeah, best film season 3, Logan Lucky.
This film. I've recommended it to loads of people, and they've said it's brilliant. So it's worthy winner.
I told
Andy
you.
recommended it to me. I was sharing the selection with Andy when I picked it. I said Andy recommended it and I selected it, so we can share that one, Andy. But
Absolute banger.
Yeah, very good. I've not yet watched it again. At the time I was, I'm going to watch it again, but I've not got around to seeing it. But yeah, the best film, better than the previous winners, which were The Prestige and what won last season? Was it a Blade? Blade 2 won last season. So yeah, I think Alien, might have lost to Blade 2, but Alien might have beaten The Prestige in season 1. But yeah, Logan Lucky, the best film officially in the world as far as the 10
Right now,
goes.
season 3.
So far.
Yeah, that's season over with. Any thoughts on the season? I think it might be definitely our least bad film season. Every other season's had more worse films than what we did.
Really?
But,
I kind of thought we went through a really bad phase.
No, season
Especially
2 we
me
went
and
through a
you.
bad phase. Season-
every season we do, I think. But yeah, this one below a 5 was 5 films, 3 4s and 2 1s.
All right.
Season before we had 4 films rated a 3 and a film that rated a 2. And season 1 actually wasn't too bad, but there were 5 films that were rated a 4 and 1 that was rated a 3. So I think in terms of average to good ratings, this was the highest, I think. But and that's we've all picked 20 films now as well. We're equally picked. I was going to do the maths and I completely forgot to do it to find out.
I'm almost certain I've picked the worst films overall.
I think you might have you've definitely got the 3 lowest. We'll say that much.
I've definitely
or
picked
well,
the best received ones online because they're the most listened to podcasts.
I've noticed that the one that Andy picked. For some reason, people love Look Who's Talking. I feel like it's because
Doesn't make any sense.
one of the YouTube teaser, like I played this and this happened. People are like, "Oh, look who's talking! Oh, I better see who is talking," and they go into it and find out, "Oh, it's just the name of the film." I think, but yeah,
That's our
people
number one
love your
listen to show.
Yeah. I might say, in terms of the league table, if you remember season 2, all of Andy's were the middle of the table, as in the middle 7 were all his picks. We're very spread out this time, as in everyone's like in the top 5 is 2 Andys, 2 me, and a Chris, and the bottom 5 is 2 me's, 2 Chris's, and an Andy. So we're kind of all spread out. The middle is still very Andy picks, but
yeah, I give the fans what they want.
Safe. You need to go outside the box now.
I go massively outside the box. Kung Pao,
Well,
look who's talking.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Speaking of going out of the box, we're very much going out of our comfort zone now, because not only are we not picking films, I had a line there, but I don't know where it's going. We are not picking films as well. We are going to pick films, but it's not always up to us. None of us have control for 5 of the films in the next season. So, and I believe we're starting with a listener pick. So
yes. Right.
Each one of us will pick in turn, but the first pick and then the one after we've all picked will be somebody else.
So basically what I've done here is anybody that's ever mentioned a film to us in person or on Facebook or whatever, I've put into a random generator and then I press a button and whatever film comes up is what we watch. So I'm about to do it now.
So you're going to do the randomer and you're going to send me the winner.
I'm going to take a picture and send it to you, and it'll be the top left one because it kind of groups them all in order. Right.
The first one on the list.
And I'm pressing the button now. Okay. Well, I can give you a sneak peek. It's somebody we've done before.
Oh.
Okay.
How do I send it? Right. So top left one.
At least Andy recognises it, so that's a good start.
There you go.
It's got a forthcoming sequel at some point as well.
Ooh.
We're going to the 1980s. We've covered the year before, but we've not done many 80s films. Adventure, comedy, family, science fiction film starring Rick Moranis. It's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, I picked that film ages ago.
What a random pick that was.
What a random pick. There's not too many podcasts that do Rick Moranis within
back to back.
20 episodes. Yeah.
What a belting film that is.
Well, just think, if I press the button one more time, somebody would also recommend us the 1966 How to Steal a Million. That was the next one.
I was lucky.
But yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, not bad. Some more 80s family.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. The third one's good. I can't mention it because that's
don't mention it because we'll get into it.
What a banger that is.
Well, there we go. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Once we're finished on the podcast, we're going to have to discuss when we're doing that episode. So you have an undetermined amount of time to go find Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Check the website.
Watch that. Check the website. Lots of stuff going up on there. Let us know what you want to see, because we are very much now open for business in terms of watching other things. We all get 5 films a season, and you, the listeners, get 5 films a season too. So send them over on Facebook, Twitter, and all that sort of stuff. 10 Point Podcast, and we will speak to you next time for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids on the 10 Point Podcast.